the angle's not good.
All right, here we are, Field 5, Windmill 2018. I'm El Shaq from Australia, being joined by, I think, Ravi, who's coming out with me now, who's just come from his game. This game slightly delayed at the start due to the other game running long. We've got Freespeed versus Chevron, and we've already had the first score there.
Yes, I am Ravi Vasudevan here, joining you. And yeah, it was first score there by Chevron. Was that just a clean hold?
Yeah, it was a very quick point. We barely had time to climb up our scaffolding.
All right, so yeah, these two are two really great big powerhouses of European Ultimate. Chevron Action Flash coming from the UK, usually the second best team out there, always trying to beat Clapham, but always coming up a bit short though. UK Tour managed to get it recently, beating their split squads. One of the first times that they've gotten that win. Freespeed, of course, from Basel, Switzerland, one of the top Swiss teams, one of the top European teams, always have a really great windmill, and have a lot of new additions to this team, especially the likes of Rob Schumacher, who's out on this first O point here, number 99. Keep an eye out for him and see what kind of impact he's
vigorously, and that should hopefully help us have a nice, clean game of Ultimate.
Chevron here putting out a bit of a junky look, and you do say it's windy, it is breezy, but number 28, Luca Miglioretto, already thrown 2 hammers. That's his specialty. He'll be throwing that all game. The wind does not frighten that man at all. So Freespeed here, moving it up, knocking on the doorstep of their first goal and their first O point. And we'll see what happens as Rob Schumacher with the disc as it's tapped back in.
Yeah, call's been made. Foul called. Players going back, and disc coming in again. Good hands there by Luca. And yeah, another call, this time a pick. And a trademark hammer to Robin Brudlin. A classic match made in heaven from those two. They do it all the time, and it's good to have Robin back after doing his ACL here at Windmill last year.
Yes, that was a tragic move for Freespeed. He's a huge receiver, and like you said, that connection, the huge hammer from Luca to Robin is one we'll see, I'm sure, a few more times this game. They've been doing that for years with each other, those two Freespeed boys. So even it up here, 1-1. Chevron Freespeed here, and so far no breaks this game.
That's right. So
okay. Wind picking up even a little more than the last point here as Freespeed getting ready to pull. Nice high pull. Stathan picks it up. Gets it in to Winder. Freespeed coming out here with a 4-man cup. As Winder and Dathan there moving it with each other.
So the Freespeed team has also picked up a couple of other Swiss players for their Worlds campaign. They've got Lieven Roslin from Bern, from Disc Panthers, and Aaron Riedel from Crazy Dog Stands, who are adding to their squad's strength, and also Basil, whose last name I cannot remember. I feel it is Fura, yeah.
Aaron Riedla is a top player for Crazy Dog Stands. You said he also plays, at least in the last cycle, played on the Swiss national men's team, and is a very, very powerful player. So interesting to see how he picks them up. This team, traditionally when they play international, they have the likes of Peter Jan de Meulenare, PJ, but this year, since his home team, the Frisbees, had qualified for Worlds, he actually left the team, Freespeed, so they had to take a few more bits of firepower, and I think especially Rob Schumacher seems to be filling his role as the big man in the offense as they here to receive the pull on their second offensive point. Offsides has been called. This is something I noticed the Tom's Tourney teams taking these things a bit more strictly on the preparation for World Championships.
Yeah, it's good to see a bit more rules awareness. It's kind of good to see it's being taken seriously as a sport. I feel if players are taking it seriously and following the rules and adhering to them, it's a good indication to those who aren't familiar with the sport that it is a real sport. We take it seriously, and our players want to win fairly.
And you can see there a Freespeed player. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there is a Freespeed player just watching that end zone line, looking to see if they're going to go offsides on the pull, ready to call it in case they make a little bit of a slip up. But when you do that, you're going to have to not go offsides yourself, because if you're going to call it out, you better be doing it right yourself.
That's right. It could well come back to haunt you.
Nice blading pull there from Chevron. Luca Miglioretto gets it in the center. Chevron poaching off here as Führer gets the disc over to Schumacher. Very poachy, very sagging defense from Chevron, but Freespeed managing to punch through there as Luca Miglioretto gets it over to Ebinger. Miglioretto.
Yeah, so Jacob Ebinger, part of the under-24s team for Switzerland that recently, earlier this year, came to Perth.
Gilles Neve gets it into Robin Brudelin.
Bit of a housemate connection there. Those two share a house.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and also Ollie as well. And another one of their players who's actually injured and not here. There's 4 Freespeed boys. It's a bit of a Freespeed flat, they call it. Oh,
and a miscue there between Führer and Luca Miglioretto. Luca cutting behind Führer there, but Führer expecting Luca to just stay where he wants, or stay where he is. And Chevron, that's the first turnover of the game. Chevron here with a chance to get a break. Nice catch there by Isa Douele, but it's going to be out of bounds. So Freespeed managing to get the disc back, and there's the big looping throw from Luca Miglioretto to Robin Brudelin, and again.
Classic connection.
That connection will work again and again. Nice closing speed there by Douele, but could not stop Robin Brudelin.
No. I know they train 3 times a week, and one of those sessions is fitness, strength and fitness. And yeah, they're all pretty good condition, hoping to do well at Worlds this year.
Absolutely.
They're probably their biggest Australian fan, and as you might be able to tell, very excited that we got to commentate one of their games. And hoping to commentate one of their games on Sunday as well.
Okay. So Chevron there getting an opportunity, but not able to punch it in. That's in these types of games at this level, especially usually in men's high-level ultimate, there aren't that many turnovers. We saw at Tom's Tourney earlier this season, lots of games between teams at this level coming down to one break or one little mistake being the difference maker. And Chevron not able to capitalize there with a little step out of bounds by Dwale. But here, going to see if they can hold.
Oh, lovely pull from Freespeed there.
Winder collects it, gets it over to Cornelius, to Dathan. Dathan to Cornelius. A little bit of arrowhead zone from Freespeed here, but they get it over to Winder. This zone traditionally trying to get the team to swing it a lot, but cutting off all upfield passes. As Winder can't find anything and swings it to Dathan. So far, this zone doing exactly what Freespeed wants. But it's over to Dathan. So far, Chevron calmly handling it, but not moving forward. It's been about 10 passes, and they moved forward maybe 1 meter. There's the big shot forward. Over to Williams. Williams gets it to Winder up the line, and now they seem to have broken through, and Freespeed have gone to person defense. Big shot. And Doug Ollie collects it.
Oh, beautiful throw there. Straight down the sideline. And Lutzi Muller unable to do much against that.
And you got to say for Freespeed, you're happy. I mean, you forced, in this wind, forced 10 or so passes. Here we're going to see throw into the middle there. And then the big bombed Ollie. That's the tricky throw in this wind. Same third huck, right into the back corner. So you got to be happy if you're Freespeed there. Forcing lots of those passes, but Chevron at this level able to stay calm and then eventually punch it through. So you seem to know a lot about this Freespeed team. Have you commentated them before, or?
I have commentated them before, but they're my friends. I've stayed at their house.
Okay.
I've stayed at the Freespeed flat.
Stayed at the Freespeed flat.
Yeah, and yeah, just supported them since I met some of the Swiss team in Canada under 23s.
Okay. The one in Toronto, like in 2013 or 12 or something like that?
Yeah, so five or so years ago, and yeah, we just keep in touch, catch up at international tournaments, and
a lot of those under 23 moving up to the senior team here as Miglioretto gets the disc. Again, Chevron throwing this junk. It's getting pretty windy out here and rainy. Both teams trying to throw junky looks. So far, neither team able to get a break. A very low throw there by Schumacher to Brudelin, and Brudelin just passes it off the ground.
Oh, why would you bother getting up if you could throw like that?
And Luca Miglioretto has the disc. He looks for the, looks the scuba fake, but eventually finds Schumacher again. Schumacher almost gets D'd there, but a little bit of 1-2. Schumacher Miglioretto gets it over to
Basil Führer.
Basil Führer. As Gilles Neve puts it up for Robin Brudelin. Brudelin back to Führer.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have played together in Swiss teams at various international competitions as well.
And Luca Miglioretto, yeah, like you said, playing on national teams together, and they're coming together on this club team now. Luca Miglioretto there collects the score for Freespeed, and still everything is on serve as the score is now 3-3, I believe.
Yeah, tied at 3-all. And yeah, like you said, I think it could just be a couple of forced or unforced errors that might just make this game suddenly go from being hotly contested to possibly one-sided, but hopefully it'll stay like this until close to the full time.
Yeah, we'll see if these teams keep throwing out these junky zone looks, because so far it hasn't worked in this win. Maybe they're going to try and switch things up a bit, but it's a good idea in these conditions.
Yeah, definitely. Probably one of those advantages of throwing whilst on your bottom is it's hard to get called for travel.
You definitely have a pivot point down.
I don't know if it's recommended, but it worked all right. So Chevron here will be going up against the breeze. The breeze blowing strongly from the left of your screen to the right.
But every point here has been an upwind score so far this game. As that disc rolls out of bounds, so Dom Dathan is going to be able to get that at the front corner of the end zone. As it does seem Freespeed is throwing out another junk look here. Not really the four-man cup anymore, more of a three-person in the front. Kind of a wall look. As the disc goes over to Cornelius. Cornelius back to Winder. Looks like a Freespeed defender falls down as Ben Barak collects the disc high.
Yeah, Aaron Riedel there just tripping over, I think, in the middle and gave his opposition player a chance to get away.
Dom Dathan throws the inside pass, but there seems to be
injury may have been called there. I'm not too sure.
I think he was just checking his shoe, but didn't actually call anything.
Some kind of call has been made.
Maybe
not too sure what with the hand signal. No.
There's a retracted call of some sort. Didn't get the initial hand signal. It looked like it might have been a stall out, but that was quick.
That was a very quick stall
count. I don't think he had the disc for
maybe that's why it's been
close to 10 seconds.
That's why it's been retracted. 1, 2, miss a few, 10. That kind of counting situation, perhaps.
Okay, so Doug Ollie here, ready to get this disc tapped back in for Chevron. Dom Dathan aggressively cutting, gets the centered pass over to Winder. Winder fakes the around, but there seems to be a call pick. Freespeed here have gone out into person-to-person defense, but Chevron have been clogging quite a lot. Not a lot of space out there on the field for Chevron. Disc gets back to Dathan. Back to Winder. Colthammer with a nice little fake, but goes all the way under. Inside pass over to Sax Dixon. Sax Dixon gets it to Cornelius, who fakes the inside, fakes the around, fakes the inside again.
That stall count must be getting high.
There's a really high popped up disc.
Uh-oh.
And Winder. Sorry, that's Doug Ollie, ends up collecting that garbage pass for Chevron. That's probably not how they drew it up, but every point counts the same. It is now 4-3 in Chevron's favor.
That's right. In the Swiss format, when every point counts, you're not going to be proud. You don't mind how you get the goal. It wasn't pretty to watch, but it did the job.
Yeah, I got to say, Chevron's offense there didn't look great. Overall, they were clogging a lot of space. Colthammer, when he got the disc earlier in that point, cut all the way back into the handler space before he got it, which, you know, is kind of clogging. You don't really want to do that as a cutter too much. Don't know Chevron's system exactly, but, you know, in general. And so, yeah, eventually they found their way in there and eventually found that confident.
Yeah, also another player returning from ACL injury.
There's
from the Freespeed
big
team.
Put from Miglioretto. Is it going to be collected?
Oh.
Yes, it is there. Olivier
grab.
Gogler getting the catch for the score. That's not another not so pretty offensive point, but like we said, every point
crude
counts.
but effective.
There are a lot of mistakes there from Freespeed's throwing. I guess this wind is starting to get to them a bit. Like
it's a little bit maybe swirly, so it's kind of hard to be to have a plan against it because you have already thought about how you're going to throw it, and then it will suddenly change direction slightly, and you have to make an adjustment, which is hard to do when you've got the pressure of a stall count and someone waving their arms right in front of you.
So this is the third round of Swiss Draw in the men's division. Do you happen to know what placement these two teams are at this moment, or?
No, I did look before lunch, but I've had a break since then, and now my brain, any information I had stored in my brain has gone out as soon as I got back up here into the cold conditions. It's like I have to conserve all my brain power to actually trying to speak and into sentences that make sense. So I'm sorry, but everything else is gone.
All right, so we don't know exactly what placement these two teams are working for, but these are teams that I think a lot of people will expect to make the quarterfinals. So fighting to stay alive and every point counts. You never know. It's a really tough field here in the men's division, and there's going to be there's definitely more than 8 great teams here, so some teams are going to be left out, so you got to score every point if you want to claw your way into quarterfinals after 5 rounds of Swiss Draw.
So as you can tell by the flags, the wind's picking up.
Still here, all upwind points, though.
That's right.
Cornelius puts a huck up to Colthammer, and Colthammer collects it a lot easier than I thought he was going to have to take it down. Great positioning there.
There were so many other players around, just read it really well.
Winder now with the disc, gets it back to Cornelius, fakes the inside, back to Winder.
One of my favorite defensive moves there from Lutzi Muller.
Cornelius with the inside, nice there by Ben Barak, cut. It's a score for Chevron. Again, another upwinder. We've had 9 points and 9 upwinders, so it's quite interesting. These defenses need to put some pressure. I mean, that huck to Colthammer, beautifully placed. I mean,
it was so, I couldn't believe he got away with that.
From our angle, it looked like, there we see the inside pass from Cornelius to Barack for the score, but that huck to Colthammer was beautifully placed. From our position, it looked like there were going to be 3 Freespeed defenders closing down on it, but I guess depth perception is pretty tough, and the handler must have seen a really nice space for him, because he just kind of jogged and picked it up. Yep.
Didn't seem at all phased that he was surrounded by defenders. He just had as much time as you'd like, and really quick to convert into a goal from that point on.
Score here is 5-4 in this matchup. Chevron up by 1, but it's been on serve so far this game. But again, 9 upwind points in these conditions. That is a little bit surprising. So Chevron, though they're up, if this wind keeps picking up, they will get to start on D, but downwind in the second half. Normally you'd say that might be an advantage, but so far with these offenses, who knows, you know?
I'm definitely, after commentating the last game on this field, where very few points were scored upwind, and that was really the difference between the two teams, is one was able to convert. Having all points scored going upwind is, yes, very surprising.
Either a testament to how good the offenses are on these two teams, or a bit of a...
Not so good for the defense.
Yeah, a bit of a snub to their defenses.
Let's call it a good offense.
Schumacher gets it up to Führer, as Freespeed have been moving it up to half field. Nice spacing by Freespeed. Great little give-go move there by Führer and Schumacher, and it continues.
That's right. I'd say keep going if it's working, and there you go.
They just marched that for half the field. Chevron has to put a stop to that.
Man, they're really concentrating hard, both teams, on their throws there against the wind, and I think that maybe is the reason they're both so successful, is all of their throws are very clinical and well thought out so far. The ones that have been successful, the few turnovers we've had have been ones where they probably haven't stopped for that second and had to think about how they're holding or gripping the disc and how much spin they're going to put on it. And that is now 5 all points scored upwind on field 5. It's a lot of 5s.
5-5 on field 5.
Who's our merchandise sponsor here at Windmill?
5 Ultimate.
Oh, there we go. It's not the 5th of the 5th or anything, is it?
Not quite. Not
disappointing.
Quite. Probably by some calendar, but not the one we use. I gotta say, but that defense there, I'm not sure exactly which way they were forcing, because they kept, I mean, I don't know if they're forcing towards us because they were giving that throw open, but they also were giving that cut both ways. Is just great give-go moves there from Führer and Schumacher, the 2 pickups on the offensive line for Freespeed, just basically controlling the disc, as Chevron now get a chance here to keep their lead 6-5 if they can score this one.
So Freespeed running more of a loose man here. That's running with their players. Someone is a bit free deep, and Freespeed quick to shut that option off.
Barack with it on the sideline. Oh, almost there, but Doug Ollie does collect it. Ollie's been playing great so far. Josh Winder gets it back to Barack. Barack to Winder. And Colthammer with a very aggressive cut, but Winder looks it off, gets it to Dathan. Not a continue off of that break side pass, but Dathan, oh, great mark here by Freespeed. Dathan really wanted to throw that break side pass, but there, as I say that, just able to get the break pass over to Steve Colthammer for the score, and it is 6-5, another upwind point here in this. Is this the 5th round of the day as well? I believe so. So it's 5-5, 5 ultimate, 5th round of the day.
I know, but now it's 6-5. It's not.
Now it's 6-5.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, yeah. This point should have lasted longer, so we could have realized that during the point.
Can we edit this later?
We'll fix it in post. Fix it in post.
Take it to the chopping board. So we have kind of a mixed bag here on the line for Freespeed in terms of their height. Quite a few tall players and lots that can jump in the air. Ollie Guglia, who sometimes plays more defense than offense, I would have said, is coming in on offense. They might be changing up how they play and what role they play with the new people added into their lineup.
On our roster sheet, they do have him listed as a D-line player, but at Tom's tourney, if I remember correctly, he was scoring he was catching a lot of deep throws from Luka. So I think he can do it on both sides of the disc. They're still figuring things out.
It's pretty versatile.
Only a couple of weeks left till Cincinnati, so you got to fix those kinks out now. Luka gets the disc from Führer, puts it up to Brudelin. Ebbinger, back to Miglioretto. Gets it over to Führer, up to Miglioretto. I like Freespeed's movement here. So far, every pass has been easy.
Yeah, that's right. Going to a nice cut, just out the front of, well, I call him Legs, but...
Nev is his last name.
No, Legs is his nickname.
I know. But Gilles Nev able to get the pass over to Rob Schumacher for the score as we get another upwind point here.
You might be able to tell why I call him Legs. Look at that, it's so quick. And he's also Legs 11 for those who like playing bingo.
Nice pass there. I thought it was a bit of a missed pass, but I think that's exactly...
Yeah, just out into front of his face. He's pretty quick,
what he was looking for there.
So now scores tied again, yet again, upwind point. Hard to believe that all 12 points have been upwind in these conditions.
And we're just 2 points, well, 2 or 3 points away from halftime here, and so far it's been on serve upwind the entire game. I feel like a broken record saying that, but it keeps happening.
And it's so hard to believe because anyone who's played and tried to score upwind, it's so difficult, but that's all they've done today in this game. So
here it seems the offense-defense match, O-line, D-line matchup is more important than the upwind-downwind matchup here for these two teams.
That's right. Maybe it's just too easy downwind and no one wants to do the easy thing.
Well, they got to do the easy thing and get the D upwind. That's something that neither, well, there've been a couple turns, but not able to capitalize downwind as Colthammer gets in the middle of the field here for Chevron. Gets it into Winder. Winder fakes the hammer. Ollie.
So again, some nice tall players from Freespeed on this defensive line.
They're going back to the four-man cup. It's been pretty effective so far, slowing them down, but Chevron able to just punch through as Colthammer collects the disc. Nice floaty pass to Doug Ollie as Rollo Sachs-Dixon, the big man who's usually quite involved, wasn't as involved that play, but found it right at the end there for the Chevron score. 7-6 here in Windmill 2018. Chevron still on serve, still in the lead by 1. See here the nice replay. Nicely collected. You see the nice floaty pass there from Colthammer. Great stuff there from Chevron. That was one of the cleaner offenses we've seen from them so far once they broke out of that four-man cup.
Yeah, it was pretty smooth movement once they got out of the zone. Hard to switch to man at that point. The flow was just too quick. So Freespeed taking their time to talk about some strategies. And that will be interesting to see if again they can get another upwind point like all of the others. So Freespeed about to receive the pull that has it's very, very far and it's coming in nicely, but offside has been called again against the Chevron team.
And that's the second offsides, I believe. Then there is the, does the penalty get called on the second offsides, or?
That is,
yes, that's what's happening. Freespeed is getting the half-field start for the second offsides from Chevron.
Well, these teams have probably played each other a fair few times, and they may have started to notice that it's a thing that happens. And
Luca's calling for the midfield start.
Yeah. I've never seen this happen before. Have you?
I can't say that I have.
So we may well see a replay of the Chevron players running down. To show you clearly whether that was as offside as you would expect, but they have had, as you said, the Freespeed players right near their end zone line down at Chevron's end. So now Chevron with the disc, it looks like they're just going to go back and pull again. So maybe a discussion happening midfield about whether they were going to enforce it or not.
So it does look like they're not enforcing the penalty right now. So looks like it's going to be a normal repull.
So everyone even more interested now in seeing a replay of whether it was in fact an offside. They're standing well back from that line. Everybody from Chevron almost on the back of the field. They don't want to have an offside called at this point. I don't think it's going to be an issue if they're 2 meters at the end. So 46 minutes in. Chevron starting on D.
So after that bit of a break in the game,
Oh,
great pull there from Chevron, just in the back of the end zone. Freespeed now. Luca gets to Ebbinger, up to Brudelin. Chevron coming out in a bit of a junk. Just poaching off the handlers, trying to get them to swing that disc and cause a little bit of pressure in the upfield passes, but so far Freespeed not really bothered by it. Pass back to Gilles. Over to Führer. Back to Nev, to Führer.
Yeah, nice little give and go there, but not getting too much ground.
Just as we say that, Miglioretto breaks things wide open. It's going to be a high disc.
Oh!
And it's a catch, but I believe it'll be out of bounds. And Chevron here with a short field. This could be huge if they can get this break. That'll give them the half 8-6. And they will get downwind to start the second half. But again,
and the
seems to not be
first
the
downwind
advantage.
point, but we'll see what happens.
The first downwind break of the game. So Chevron picking it up. This is Tom Martin Hall. Getting it over to Nick Williams. High release pass over to Douale, and Douale there with a drop. That's his second turnover on the D-line. Last one a bit catching it out of bounds. This time just a bit of a drop there. Tough to read those discs in the wind.
Yeah, definitely good for Freespeed because they are very close to their defensive end zone here. And in front of us, Freespeed and Chevron player are discussing the offside call and explaining why they are making the call. It's more from what they've said. The disc needs to be the first thing to cross the line on the pull. So it might be that the foot of the person doing the pull has crossed before the disc, or it might be his teammate has gone before the disc has gone over the line.
All right, but back to the action here. Freespeed moving it up pretty casually. Lots of give goes, lots of up the line cuts. Something Chevron's gonna have to find a way to stop, as that's how, remember before the Führer Schumacher connection on a previous point here, it seemed to be doing it again. Just moving the disc pretty easily, pretty quickly. The stall's never really getting even up to 4 here. And right now there seems to be a call on the play, maybe a travel.
All right, this disc's back in.
Ebbinger is on the sideline, looking for Luca, looks him off, gets the disc over to Goglier, bobbles it, but he catches it. Luca now in the middle of the field. That's a dangerous position. Freespeed, and he finds Brudelin, but not quite in. Brudelin on the corner.
Call's been made a pick.
Pick called. Definitely wasn't involved in that play, so Brudelin's going to get it here. Centers it to Luca Miglioretto, who finds Führer for the score. And there,
just in front of the line there.
we are at Galaxy Point, as Mike Palmer loves to call it. 7-7 here. I imagine that the lines are going to get a bit tighter. Maybe Freespeed going to throw a bit of firepower on their D-line to try and get a break here to get something going downwind in this game.
Yeah, it's... I'm just so surprised that no one has scored going with the wind.
I mean, they haven't had that many opportunities in that the upwind offenses have been pretty good, but each team's gotten a couple and not managed to. These O-line defenses seem to be putting a lot of pressure, getting the disc back when they lose it, which is something you have to be able to do at this level. So far, no breaks this game, and everything upwind. You see the beautiful blue Iggy tent in the background. maybe a bunch of us wishing we could be in there in the warmth at the moment because it's pretty cold out here.
Definitely a couple of us, yeah. But no, I'd rather be watching Freespeed and Ultimate.
Frisbee, right? You didn't say Freespeed.
Yeah,
you were being unbiased.
Definitely
Frisbee is
unbiased. Definitely. I think I was up front. I did my disclaimer at the start. Surely I am. So Freespeed with the pull.
And we do see Gilles Neve moving his way onto the D-line here. But aside from that, pretty much sticking to their same D-line. Ebbinger there making it as well.
Really running fast for the get pressure on the first throw. That was good.
And Freespeed coming out with the 4-man cup again as Winder, trapped on his own sideline, gets to Dathan. Dathan to Winder. Winder fakes the hammer over this cup, fakes the huck, but then takes the dump scoober. Really good stuff here from Freespeed's defense so far. But we've seen this before, and eventually the team's able to break through. But so far, what was really good there's after. Oh, that's a low hammer, but Colt Hammer picks up the hammer.
Say that fast 5 times.
I'm definitely not going to say that fast 5 times. I don't want to embarrass myself too much on this stream.
So, yeah, it's pretty much the same format in terms of their defense, but a change of a couple of players here. And it does seem like the intensity of the defensive pressure is just a little bit higher, with Chevron now kind of trapped on this sideline. But
Colt
a big
hammer with the hammer.
He's all over the hammers.
Gets it over to Nick Williams, gets it back to Josh Winder. These are some big fakes from Winder, but then he puts the big hammer over to Doug Ollie. Doug Ollie collects it just inside the field as he's looking for an option and eventually finds Ben Barak.
So the call's now for Mandy.
It's person, but Josh Winder's left completely free here.
Oh.
But walks right into Ebbinger. If he just had waited there for the swing,
he just waited for him to come to him.
Maybe would have been a bit of a better option. Dathan looking for something. He's not happy. Good pressure here from Freespeed.
Call made.
Aaron Riedel is calling something. I believe a push off. Maybe saying Dathan pushed Riedel off the mark.
Yeah, I missed the hand signal.
I don't think he gave one.
Oh, well, no wonder I missed it. I don't feel too bad then.
Come on, Riedler.
Normally pretty good use of the hand signal so far by the teams. It makes our job a lot easier. And maybe they'll do a signal to show what's happening now when they bring the disc back in, but who knows?
I'm going to guess that that is a push-off foul. That's the only reason why I can imagine the disc would come back.
And I'm not going to contest your call because I didn't see it.
You can't see us, but I'm giving the hand signal for foul.
And I'm giving the signal for uncontested. I'm lying, I'm not. I'm keeping my hands together because they're cold. Sorry.
Maybe that's why Riedel is not doing the hand signals, his hands are too cold.
Yeah, true. Conserving heat.
All right, so Dathan's going to have this disc. Freespeed doing a really good job applying a lot of pressure as Dathan puts up a big hammer.
Oh,
and that is
Lutzi Mueller with the D.
So here, Freespeed has a full field to work with, but a couple offensive line players are on this field, including Gilles Neve, who's picking up the disc as he sends it. Don't know these players that well because I haven't been playing.
Sorry. You want their last names?
Haven't been touching the disc too much, so
yeah,
this is a new batch. I got to look in this roster sheet.
Just been playing the defensive role, doesn't get too much of the positions at the moment with not too many turnovers. This is a...
But Gilles Neve here.
So our pick was called before.
And we'll see, can Freespeed capitalize and score this downwinder? A big put to Marco Elminger. It's going to be a battle, but Elminger,
oh, and I think, I don't know if he's going to make a call about that. There was a bit of a contact, but I think it might have been from both people, so.
Yeah, I think it was just a bit of jostling for space. We're going to see here on the replay. No, you see Doug Ollie just kind of goes over the top, gets that D quite cleanly as Elminger was trying to body him out, but the big body of Doug Ollie just grabbing the disc. And again, downwind. Downwind is just too hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so strange. So strange to say that.
Neither team managing to do it. And here we do see again this tough zone from Freespeed, but so far not been able to really get a turn out of Chevron, though it has slowed them down as Dom Dathan has the disc in the middle of the field. Over to Colt Hammer. Goldhammer player who 4 years ago also played Lecco Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
But he was playing with Cambridge Mixed and managed to, I believe, get 6th place. They actually did quite well in Worlds. Now moving his talents over to the single gender division. We see Winder there with the hammer to Goldhammer.
But just caught by the wind.
Winder had a number of really good hammers towards the camera earlier this game, but that one away from the camera, I think the wind's a bit trickier in that direction with the way the disc is curving. So that one's going to go out of bounds, and Freespeed going to get another chance to get a downwind break here as Nev gets it over to Lucius Müller.
Now Rosalind, back to Müller.
Back to Rosalind. Over to Huber. Back to Huber, strength and conditioning coach for this team, and was also the strength and conditioning coach for the Polish World Games team last year. Gets to Ebinger on the sideline. Huber there, a little hesitant on his cut, but managed to break free, and a high release break pass to Riedle. It was gonna go out. I think there might have been some contact there, but I think Riedle was pretty confident that that one was gonna go out of bounds. So he's not calling a foul there. The contact did not affect the play. Good spirit there from Riedle.
Yeah, definitely incidental contact, I would say, if there was any. I don't think it was at all in bad spirit.
Quite an aggressive high release pass there from Huber.
Yeah, they probably forgot it was downwind. They just thought it was upwind like normal. So Freespeed with a few opportunities on their turns. It's been quite a long point, probably the longest we've had so far this game.
Surely the most turnovers so far in this game, as Freespeed have put some firepower onto this D-line, trying to get that elusive break downwind, but...
That's right, and the Freespeed sideline, very vocal. There's Chevron now, start to get a bit of space.
Great grab there by Ben Barak from Sax Dixon. Saving that pass from Sax Dixon. He's gonna owe him a beer later. Dathan gets it over to Cornelius. Cornelius fakes the around. Still doesn't like what he sees. A lot of stagnation from Chevron, but able to find
nice pass
his receiver there for the goal, and that'll be halftime. 8-7 again for the 15th time. An upwind point here in this game. Chevron versus Freespeed.
Right, a great pass there through a couple of matches of people. Just somehow got through the space.
What a throw there from Will Cornelius for that score. Upwind, that is a tough inside-out pass to make, keeping that edge. But we see here, halftime here at Windmill 2018. What if you're one of these defenses, what do you think you can adapt to cause a bit more trouble and get? I mean, we saw Freespeed get the turns there.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the only point we've seen that many turns so far this game. What do you think they can do to try and get some more pressure, get some more turns on these upwind offenses?
No idea. I can't believe that upwind is working better. Normally the zone is like almost guaranteed to get a turn at some point, but both teams have been doing zone and not too many turnovers have happened. Man worked quite well when they did it for one point and then not for another. Maybe changing the force, but the wind is also now a little bit more diagonal, so maybe changing a force to one of the sidelines might make a difference, but I just can't believe all the points have been scored upwind. It's doing my head in.
You can see here in the background the nice campsite here at Windmill 2018, festival vibe. Windmill is more than just a Frisbee tournament, it's also an event. Teams coming from all over the world here this year. Teams coming from Brazil, from Egypt, from United Arab Emirates, from lots of corners from all over Europe and the rest of the world. It's a great event. It's a little windy, it's a little cold, but people having lots of fun here with high-level ultimate, high-level spirit, high-level fun. Windmill is the place to be. I like my advertising voice.
I did. I wanted you to have a sponsored by at the end, and I was like...
Sponsored by 5 Ultimate and Aria Discs.
And those footy things.
Oh yeah, the footy things. I haven't managed to get my hands on one of those yet.
Oh, well.
Or my feet on one of those, I guess. Is,
yeah, or either or, both. You can make any shaped ball, apparently, out of this magical thing.
And this footage brought to you by ULTI.TV on YouTube for free. Hope you guys are enjoying this stream here of two great ultimate powerhouses, Freespeed and Chevron Action Flash, both really wanting to get this win and really hoping to get as many points gap as they can to get a nice ranking in the Swiss draw. Because, like I said, it's not just about winning here, it's about getting the point diffs. But so far, if the team's going to want to walk away with this game a little bit, they're going to have to get a downwind point, and that's just too much to ask from these teams, it seems.
True, and the Freespeed lineup already have lost a few people. They lost Dennett Haas already to injury, and Nikki Migareto is also unwell. So a few key players down.
Maybe that's why we're seeing the likes of Gilles Neve and Goglier moving over to the O-line, traditionally more D-line players, and having to fill in those roles here. But playing pretty well, those two players actually so far this game. And yeah, it happens in sport. You gotta fill things in when some of your good players are not able to play.
Yeah, just like a crossword. Fill things in.
So I believe we're about ready to start here at the beginning of the second half. The score is 8-7 in Chevron's favor. So far completely on serve, completely upwind as Freespeed bring their O-line out for this upwind point, and Chevron Action Flash taking their traditional D-line. So far not really stacking either line yet. We'll see if this game gets closer to the end, if they start tightening up the rotations to try and get those elusive breaks as Gilles Neve collects the pull, gets to Luca Miglioretto, and Chevron seem to be going more into man-to-man defense, maybe finally just thinking about the fact that that zone's not really working. Still poaching off the handlers a bit to try and force some swings, but Luca there putting a big disc for Gilles Neve. Is he gonna collect? He does. Is he in?
Yeah.
Yes, he is, and that is a point. Like I was going to suggest at halftime to play man-to-man defense and maybe, you know, stop the underneath cuts. But Luca there showing that if you do that, that he's got an upwind huck in his tool belt as well.
That's right. I think on Luca, the best thing you can do is no hucks, because he loves them.
He does. But if you try and put a no huck mark, he's gonna just throw a big hammer somewhere. He's just a great thrower. I've had the pleasure of interviewing him on a podcast that I do, Eurozone, one of our first episodes, and he says that he just loves throwing, and that's why he's so good at it. After every practice, he's just trying things out, still trying to learn, still trying to improve. And one thing in Windmill is the pull contest happens every year at halftime of the men's final. Luca is a guy who likes to win that contest. He can throw it pretty far.
He can.
So here, still on serve, 8-8 is the score. And Chevron Action Flash, if this is going to go this way, Chevron Action Flash is going to win this game. But again, like we said, Swiss draw, it's not just about winning the game. So if Freespeed can keep it to Universe, that's still going to be good for them. But I'd love to see one team get a downwind break. That's
right, and a lovely pull by Lutzi there.
And that, I believe, landed in and rolled out the back. So it's going to be collected at the front of the defending end zone. We have Will Cornelius calling this disc in. No, I believe it is bricked.
No, I think he called it bricked, yeah. It's a little bit hard to see the back line here because it's grass is almost the same color as the white paint in that section.
Yeah, it's actually been really hot and dry in the Netherlands for the past couple of weeks, if you'll believe that. And so we'll see, we have
just a touch of winter.
Yeah, just a touch of winter. It's the Netherlands. It can always be like this. All right, so Colthammer collects the first pass from Cornelius. Doesn't like what he sees so far as Winder cuts up field, but Bush able to stop him there. But Colthammer does find Dom Dathan in the end as Rolosax Dixon gets the disc on the sideline.
Yeah, Freespeed going straight to a man D here. And
but Sax Dixon to Barak for the score. These are two crazy high-level players. Interesting thing to note, back in Tom's tourney, they played the showcase game against Chalk, and both of those players didn't play that game because it wasn't really involved in the tournament, just a showcase game. But they did manage to still beat Chalk, and we saw later on in the later stages of the tournament that those two players were just resting because they had to play so many points earlier in the tournament. But here, showing their score as Chevron keep their lead 9-8.
So just seeing the replay there, that quick pass. Like a bullet for the score.
I have to say, in the first half, I was a bit more impressed with Freespeed's offense than Chevron's offense, in that it was a bit more flowing and moving, and Chevron's was clogging a bit and relying on a few bailout throws, but that offense there was pretty clean from Chevron, and I think they've kind of cleaned things up a bit, maybe since it was always that transition from zone to person defense that was giving Chevron trouble, but now that the teams are going more to straight match defense. Nice rolling pull there. It's stopped over center to Miglioretto. Miglioretto gets to Führer. Back to Miglioretto. To Gilnev. Back to Miglioretto. Lots of passes here, not much forward movement. The Schumacher gets it back to Miglioretto. Now we see the forward movement as they break through that zone. Führer gets it back to Goglier. Goglier gets back to him. Führer now, oh, with a low pass to Schumacher, but I believe that touched the ground before he caught it.
Yeah, just shaved a bit off the top of the grass.
So here, what no team has been able to do. Can Chevron score downwind? So we see number 37, Matt Bevan, not getting too many options here, but eventually finds Tom Martin Hall. Back to Bevan. Back to Martin Hall, just the two of them working so far. No downfield options. So Martin Hall fakes it up field. Great defense here by Freespeed, switching.
Yeah, good communication there by the players to make sure that that player running deep was covered.
And we see Martin Hall get it back to Mark Penny with a big hammer, and that's the first downwind point as Matt Bevan collects it for Chevron to take the lead. With a 2-point margin now, that is 10-8 in Chevron's favor. They are very, very, very excited about getting a downwinder. And that's really tough because what is going to be the difficult thing for Freespeed is we're going to see a little bit
Sorry,
of
we got distracted by the cute little dad and daughter. Meanwhile, there's an ultimate game happening, but hey.
Here we're going to see a replay, hopefully going to get a view. Nice inside pass. We're going to see Mark Penny just throw that hammer, no fear. Greatly collected by Bevan. So this is going to be really tough for Freespeed because now it's going to be a bit, I bet the O-lines are going to be playing downwind. So they're going to have to get a break on an O-line going upwind, and that's going to be a tough ask to get themselves back in this game, but it's going to have to start with a downwind point of their offense. And this is going to be the first time we're going to see the offensive line play downwind, as we do see them pretty much take that same line that was playing last point and put them all back in, trusting their O-line to get it done, even though they made the first mistake here in this game.
That's all right. Let's just call it an oopsie.
Well, an oopsie can be very costly here at this level of play as Gilnev collects the pull and gets it to Luca Miglioretto. Gilnev completely unmarked.
Oh, he's so open. In a game where they haven't had many errors, it's really obvious when someone does one, sadly.
Führer there with the disc, gets it to Miglioretto. Miglioretto over to Ebinger. Calmly collects it as Duale was poaching off him. And there's the layout D from Chevron.
D.
That is number 6, Tom Martin Hall, being big, and Dom Dathan picks up the pass as the disc had rolled out of bounds, so he has to go take it where the disc actually rolled out. Dom Dathan, an offensive line player here on this D-line, to give them some upwind firepower. But there appears to be a pick. There was a lot of clustering there. Not a great look here so far from this.
So,
I believe that's a timeout called by Dom Dathan. Hopefully we'll get a replay of that layout D.
Yeah. It was very close on the mark, running with his opponent there.
Yeah, you're going to see that Schumacher really wanted that disc, but was in a very tight space. Yeah. And
just got his arm out in front, I think.
Looking for an option, sees Schumacher, and when you see Schumacher open like that, just so tempting to put it. He's such a strong player, but Martin Hall just gets his paw in there. That's a huge play in this game, and they have a short field to work with, though. Off of a timeout on this close of a space is often a pretty tough thing to break through. in high-level ultimate, because now the defense can just clamp down and put as much pressure as they want. And this is the Freespeed O-line, so most of their top players here are also very good at defense. We'll see if Chevron are able to get this point.
That's right. So 2 points, 70 minutes of play already happened, so not too long before we hear the jingle, but could be long enough.
Jingle is at 85 minutes, I believe. That's when the jingle goes off.
Yeah.
85 minutes is how long the rounds are here, with a 5-minute gap before the next game starts in the full 90-minute rounds. It is a cap +1, so finish the point, add 1 situation. If we get to that, by the looks of things here, it looks like we might not quite get to 15 points. Both of these teams really fighting hard, and points are kind of long given the win, so might not get there. But Dom Dathan ready to start this offense off with Tom Martin Hall, the man who got the layout D, playing a dump position. Chevron in kind of a vertical stack with Isa Dwale off to the back corner. I'm curious what that's going to be all about.
You
Sometimes
could think that he's going to be the target, but sometimes it's not the obvious one. He's just the decoy, but
Bevan.
Definitely still lurking towards the back space.
So now Dathan gets it again, guarded by Miglioretto. Over to the 55 shirt. Back to Bevan.
Oh,
sorry, that's Mark Penny is 27. 37 is Bevan. Apologize to Mark Penny. Been calling you by the wrong name.
So a bit of incidental contact there, I think, with Fura just taking a bit of a lie down on the ground, but he gets up.
Looking to attack. Sees Dwale, puts the inside pass over to Martin Hall.
Oh,
and that's another break for Chevron. 11-8 getting
travel called.
Oh, there's a travel called.
Yep. So Basil Fura calling travel there on the throw. So establishing what stall count's coming in on.
All right, Martin Hall, the man who got the layout D, on the doorstep of the end zone, puts it into space. Is it going to be collected? It is. Was he in? He was not. That is 32 Mark Simpson, who has the disc now. On the sideline. No options yet. Gets the high release pass off to Dom Dathan. Dathan, nice around lefty pass to Isa Dwale, and Chevron have managed to get the break. 11-8. Kind of walking away with this thing right now, and this is tough. Getting broken twice in a row. You think Freespeed is going to put their O-line out there or change things up?
I don't know. I think they'll probably just stick with what the line they had on before.
This will be their 3rd point in a row they're going to have to play.
Yeah, they'll probably change a couple of people. They'll probably keep Brudlin and Luca on.
Schumacher looks like he's walking back to the line as well.
Yeah, I'd probably put Lutzi Mueller on as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they are. Oh, and a timeout's been called.
I think that is a good call for Freespeed, because they need to get it's crunch time here in this game,
yeah.
and
they got to mix something up.
And they got, well, the bigger thing is they have to just give their O-line players a bit of rest, because I think their D-line hasn't been scoring points so far this game when they've been going downwind, and to get them to get the score points upwind will be even a big taller of a task. So I think they just need to rest their O-line players a bit after 2 points in a row, because they have to put them back out there.
Yeah, true.
All right, so we see here warming up Krut on the sideline. I'm sure they're doing quite well this tournament. They are the champions of Windmill previous year, winning on Universe against the Polish World Games team in a thriller of a game. Definitely go out and watch that game if you've never seen it. It's definitely a classic. You see wearing some nice white jerseys. This is a team with an average age of 19 years old that has been rocking Europe, winning the European Ultimate Club Finals and Windmill last year. So they seem to be warming up. They'll probably be on a live streamed game after this game, I'm guessing. Maybe against Reading. I think I see Reading warming up near them as well. That would be a great matchup. I'm not sure, but definitely think about checking that one out. So we do see here after the timeout that Freespeed's pretty much putting out their exact O-line that they're used to. So I think that timeout was simply to rest their legs because they know they know right now that they need these guys to do it. Their D-line hasn't been doing that well, and to put those players in on upwind is probably asking too much. So they got to do this with their O-line first. But the score's 11-8. D-line's going to have to do something to help this team if they're going to want to win this game. Chevron must be feeling pretty good about their chances. But again, it's Windmill. It's not just about winning. They do want to stop a run, keep that point differential. That will help them get a better seed as this pull sails out of bounds. And Luca Miglioretto calling the brick to pick it up. We do see Chevron Action Flash going for a person-to-person defense, not opting for one of their junk looks. Oh, no, I stand corrected.
It did look like...
They faked me out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They're like that, so tricky.
All right, so Miglioretto and Gilles just pass to pass, dink and dunk. Not moving too much with these passes, but having some good forward movement. Nice pass over there to Führer. Führer back to Miglioretto. Great passing here from these handlers. It's the wind dying down a bit. At least it feels like that to me. You still see the flags flapping in the background, though. Nice little bladey pass over to Brudelin. Brudelin back to Miglioretto. Back to Führer. Miglioretto on the sideline. Nice patient movement here from Freespeed. Nothing too flashy, nothing too exciting. But we do see Führer there aggressively attacking up that line. Miglioretto picks up the disc.
Luca's got a bit more space on this D, and yep, takes advantage of that.
And that is what we expect to Goglier. Nice pass there from Luca Miglioretto. Sorry if I don't sound too excited, but it's just kind of expecting it at this point. It's like it's not like that.
Ugh.
It was what I thought was going to happen. So.
That old chestnut. Yeah, he gave him a bit of space, and that's probably what he's going to do with it every time.
To be fair, that was actually very tight window Luca had on that hammer. It was just over the hands of the defender. It was actually a very impressive throw. I'm joking a bit about not getting so excited, but that's, you see there, I believe that's Ben Barak. He's a really good defender, and Goglier, and he has the height difference on Goglier, so if that hammer floats for even a second, it's going to get D'd, but with Luca's hammer, pinpoint accuracy, perfect. So 11-9 here in this game, but Freespeed on the back foot, going to have to get a couple breaks if they want to get back in this one. Chevron just have to hold, get those easy upwinders. That's all they got to do.
That's all they've got to do. The upwind is definitely proving easier in this game for some reason. It's Freespeed with the pull.
Dom Dathan gets a disc and gets to Winder.
Looking to set up a zone, judging by the 4 people running down super quickly.
Big scoober over to Colthammer. Big scoober to a big man. Gets it to Dathan. Inside pass to Ben Barak. Back to Dathan. Nice pass up to Doug Ollie. Barak with a disc now. Back to Winder. Really nice movement here from Chevron. Freespeed had to go just out of that person-to-person defense. But again, here's where we see the stagnation coming after that transition. There we see Doug Ollie with the disc. Doug Ollie looking for Winder, finds him in space. A lot of clogging, too many cuts there for Chevron. Winder looking for something. He's going to have to find Ben Barak, but good coverage. I think there must have been a pick call or a foul call there. Stall count's got to be rising. Josh Winder with the high release over to Dathan. He collects. Dathan puts it up to Colthammer, and Chevron score. Interesting point there. Lots of clogging, lots of difficulty for Chevron on that point, but in the end, they get it, and it counts. 12-9 the score here in this Swiss round matchup between Chevron Action Flash and Freespeed at Windmill 2018. Here we see the replay. Nice high pass from Dathan to Colthammer. Such a good weapon, Colthammer. That huge, huge body. You can just put it up and not worry about any kind of aerial battle going someone else's way. And Chevron Action Flash here, 12-9. This was, I believe, this is a rematch of the third place game at Tom's Tourney. Both these teams lost on Universe in the semifinals back in Bruges. And I believe that Chevron won that game.
Yeah, they did.
They did win that game, so seems like history repeating itself here. Unless Freespeed can manage to get something going with a break, but that's been tough. This Chevron offense has been clinical, and though they've made a couple mistakes, they've always got the disc back. Freespeed. Ben Barak now with disc in the middle of the field. Gets it over to Mark Simpson. Mark Simpson with a just that. I don't think that's what he was trying to throw.
No, I don't know quite what happened. It's almost like the disc just flew out of his hand as he went to look at someone.
There's the hammer from Luca, but I think that one's going to blade out of bounds.
Yeah, against the wind from across field. Ambitious, even for Luca.
And Basel Führer just had no chance of coming down with that one. So Chevron with another chance here as Tom Martin Hall, the man who got the layout Dion Schumacher earlier this game, picking up the disc. There's a big blade to Dwale. Dwale collects. Dwale looks for Mark Penny. Doesn't like it. Finds Martin Hall. Martin Hall gets it to Ben Barak. Barak back to Martin Hall. Nice high release over to Dwale. Dwale on the sideline. Back to Mark Penny. Mark Penny to Dwale now in the middle of the field. This is a great attacking position for Chevron, but they get it back to Mark Penny. Dump, swing, and score. Another break there for Chevron. Scores now 13-9. They got to be happy. Getting this type of a buffer on Freespeed is going to help them in that Swiss draw.
Definitely. Chevron moving the disc a lot more clearly and having a bit more space downwind. Compared to last time, upwind.
And I love this play here. Dwale in the middle of the field, dumps it and swings it. That's great end zone offense, attacking from that middle, getting it to the break side and using that timing. Great offense there from Chevron. So, what are you thinking if you're Freespeed at this moment? What are you going to say to your boys?
You played well.
Oh, God. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They do not want to hear that.
It's not my job to coach them and give them critique.
It is your job to give them critique, actually.
Yeah,
that is kind of weird.
Straight after the loss. It's too soon. It's too raw.
No, you got to do it during the game. You're a color commentator. That's what you're actually supposed to be doing.
They're not listening now. They're playing.
They'll listen to it later, I'm sure.
Don't listen.
Don't listen.
No, I don't know. I don't feel they've made too many mistakes, but Chevron have just played. I just feel maybe their defense hasn't been as effective as it normally is. And Chevron have just been able to see things like that. That's, that's not typical.
Yeah, Dom Dathan there with a backwards hand block.
That's hard to predict.
We've got to see this replay.
Oh, the old look away, right position.
Gilles Nev a bit frustrated there as Chevron are looking to increase their lead as Rollo Sachs-Dixon has the disc. Looks off Colthammer, finds Dom Dathan. Dom Dathan gets it to Dwale, but there is an injury. Looks like Führer's on the ground. I'm not sure what's going on there, exactly what happened. Must have been a collision. All right, doesn't look too bad. He's walking on his own accord. Looks like he's even staying in the game. That's good. Basel Führer, they're getting a little knocked around, but Nothing too serious, looks like. So that is the jingle. I believe that means we will finish this point and add 1. The score is now 13-9. If Chevron punch it in, it'll just be a clean game to 15. If Freespeed score this point, it should be a game to 14.
That's right. So, yeah, players just organising, making sure the disc is ready to come in.
Back to Martin Hall. Gets it over to Dathan. Dathan finds Colthammer. Colthammer looking, doesn't like what he sees. Back to Dathan. Frisbee doing a good job pushing Chevron back. Not really any forward movement here. Again, pushing further and further back, and there a layout save for a dump. Lots of pressure here from the Freespeed defense. They have not given up yet. Colthammer with the disc. Over to Dathan, just keeps it in bounds. Dathan surveying the field, puts it around to Colthammer. Colthammer goes big, but Schumacher gets his hand on it, and Freespeed get the disc back. So they will have another chance to go here upwind as Gilles Neves collects the disc. Fakes the huck, finds Brudelin for a great up the line gainer. Over to Luca Miglioretto with a big huck into space for Ebinger, and that's going to be easily collected for the score. So it is a 13-10 game to 14 situation here in this 5th round.
Still in it to win it. But it's going to be a tough ask. So Freespeed to be on defense. Chevron going for the elusive downwind points.
Well, they've gotten a few.
They've gotten a few, so they know what to do. So could be the last point of the game.
Not sure what exactly happened there. Ebinger was completely open in acres of space, and when you have when you're against a player like Luca Miglioretto, you cannot give a person that much space deep.
So Chevron still clearing the field. Probably realizing that if they get this, it's a good time to get the goal.
Yeah,
Not
again,
wanting to do a turn.
At Windmill, every point matters. So they definitely want to keep the buffer they have. Oh, the pull going into the dugout there.
Got her.
Oh, did it hit her?
I think it hit her in the face, but it could also be fear or embarrassment. It's hard to tell.
She's smiling. She's smiling. She's okay. She's okay, folks.
She probably also realized that camera was definitely on her when that happened.
So Josh Winder here to give Chevron their last O-line point of this game. If they mess this one up, they're going to be playing D-line the rest of the game. No, sorry, I got that completely wrong. Chevron is on O-line for the rest of the game. It's Freespeed that has to play D-line the rest of the game. I don't know how math works. All right, Colthammer gets it on the sideline, and they have just moved it up the field quite efficiently as Chevron